Many parents boast that they rarely, if ever, allow their kids to eat fast food. But are parents neglecting to consider that other foods may be just as, if not more, detrimental to their kids' health? How about school lunches, for instance? One USA Today study uncovered the startling truth about how school lunches compare to fast food chains. According to this 2009 study, the government approved millions of pounds of meat to be served in schools that didn't meet the quality and safety standards required by many fast food chains, such as Jack in the Box and Kentucky Fried Chicken. But then why does the U.S. Department of Agriculture tell us the meat used for the National School Lunch Program meets or exceeds standards in commercial products? Perhaps the USDA is considering commercial products, such as those provided by McDonald's and Burger King, which USA Today claims are far more rigorous in checking for bacteria and dangerous pathogens. These chains test their ground beef 5 to 10 times more than USDA tests their beef used for school lunches in a day. Jack in the Box is another chain that exceeds school lunch standards. The limits they set for certain bacteria found in ground beef are 10 times more stringent than school lunch standards. Beef isn't the only culprit. USA Today found that tons of meat from old birds, referred to as spent hens, which are otherwise used for compost or pet food, are also supplied to schools. KFC and Campbell's Soup, who said they stopped using spent hens decades ago, won't go near the chicken being fed to our school children. According to USA Today, spent hen meat is tough, stringy, and far less appealing than the more tender meat of broiler chickens. The government spent more than $145 million on spent hen meat for schools between 2001 and the first half of 2009. That's more than 77 million pounds of chicken meat. The primary options for chicken production companies to dispose of spent hen meat is compost, pet food, and you guessed it, school lunch meat. Apparently, the USDA doesn't see anything wrong with spent hen meat, despite that Michael Greger, a physician for the U.S. Humane Society, says this meat is significantly more likely to be contaminated with bacteria that can cause diseases. He claims this is because chickens are stacked in pens from floor to ceiling, are exposed to high levels of fecal dust, and are subject to heavy stress, all of which contributes to higher infection rates. Glenn Morris, professor of medicine and director of the Emerging Pathogens Institute of the University of Florida, states, "We simply are not giving our kids in schools the same level of quality and safety as you get when you go to many fast food restaurants." Morris used to run the USDA office that investigates foodborne illnesses, and he says the meat they buy that doesn't satisfy higher-end commercial standards tends to be directed towards schools. Shockingly, children's fledgling immune systems make them more susceptible to foodborne illnesses. What's more, there exists less assurance that school cafeteria workers will cook meat well enough to kill those pathogens that slip through the USDA's already negligent standards. A written statement to USA Today from Rain Pegg, administrator from Agricultural Marketing Service, which provides the meat for school lunches, says that AMS standards for meat sent to schools have been extremely successful in protecting against foodborne illnesses. I suppose that depends on what you consider extremely successful. From 2005 to 2009, AMS purchased 6 orders of beef that exceeded the limits some commercial buyers set for bacteria. 2 of these orders came from Beef Packers of Fresno, despite that they were suspended from AMS 3 times prior. From 2008 to 2009, AMS bought nearly 500,000 pounds of ground beef from Beef Packers and Skylark Meats of Omaha, with unusually high levels of generic E. coli. Most fast food companies will not accept meats with any indicators of this dangerous strain of E. coli. AMS, however, will gladly buy this meat to be fed to our school children. In fact, they'll buy meat with generic E. coli counts up to 10 times higher than the limit of Jack in the Box. Most importantly, these disparities are making our kids sick. the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that almost 7,500 children came down with cases of the norovirus between 1998 and 2007. The norovirus is an illness contracted through infected foods or drinks that causes nausea, sudden and violent vomiting, and diarrhea lasting 1 to 2 days. The epidemic didn't lead to improvements. In fact, despite it all, almost 27,000 schools failed to have their preparation areas inspected, as mandated by the Child Nutrition Act. And 8,500 school kitchens were not inspected at all in 2008. What's the effect of poorly inspected food preparation areas in our nation's school cafeterias? Again, sick kids. In Polk County, North Carolina, one student was sent to the emergency room and required medical procedures after drinking sweet tea laced with salmonella as a result of a dirty urn. In Beaver County, Pennsylvania, 30 elementary schoolers fell ill as a result of undercooked chicken. Not only are school lunches making kids sick, but they could also be making them fat. Childhood obesity is on the rise, and school lunches often do little to help. President Bill Clinton's nationwide health initiative, the William J. Clinton Foundation, states that obesity rates have skyrocketed among children of all age groups in the last 40 years. Nearly 25 million children are obese or overweight today in the United States. Some experts predict that if this trend continues, the current generation of children will be the first in American history to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. According to the foundation, research suggests that healthier school lunches and fitness programs could contribute to increased academic achievement, because healthier students are better able to concentrate on their schoolwork, less likely to miss school due to illness, and more apt to perform better in class. In regards to this epidemic, Michelle Obama says the physical and emotional health of an entire generation and the economic health and security of an entire nation is at stake. Michelle Obama is very active in the pursuit to keep kids fit. She has enlisted a childhood obesity task force called the Let's Move campaign, which aims to ensure that children born today will grow into healthy adults. According to the campaign, obesity rates have tripled in the past 30 years, and 1 in 3 children are overweight or obese. This means that 1 in 3 children born in 2000 or later will suffer from diabetes. Many others still will face chronic obesity-related health problems, such as asthma, cancer, heart disease, and high blood pressure. Critics say that the Let's Move campaign, which encourages salad bars in schools and increased fitness programs, may not be enough. One article by Jill Richardson, a member of the Organic Consumer Association Public Advisory Board, claims that the biggest contributing factor to our children being overweight is the National School Lunch Program. Each day, 10% of the American population takes part in the National School Lunch Program. This means they are eating at least 1 meal a day entirely regulated by federal policies. For some of these children, half of the calories they consume in a day come from school lunches. This is because the USDA sets the standards for food served in school. Richardson contends that several aspects of the National School Lunch Program need to be examined and reformed. Currently, fruits and vegetables are offered in school lunches, but they are considered interchangeable. Many lunches do not include both fruits and vegetables. It's usually one or the other. Current standards set a minimum of calories, but not standard nutritional values or a maximum of calories. The Obama administration intends to change all this by increasing the amounts of fruits and vegetables served, including dark, leafy greens and legumes. New standards will also increase the amount of whole grains and also set a much-needed maximum number of calories per meal. Most importantly, the new standards will address a loophole, which restricts the USDA control over a la carte items in school cafeterias and vending machines, which often include candy, chips, ice cream, and soda. As encouraging as these improvements may be, Richards says, as it stands, only 30% of schools, a shocking 6 to 7% of schools, serve lunches that meet all USDA standards. Richards encourages us to look at the government's food pyramid and compare it to what the USDA is actually serving in schools. The food pyramid recommends a diet rich in whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. However, the USDA provides lunches with meat and dairy products high in saturated fat. Only 13% of meals consist of fruits or vegetables, half of which are potatoes, and those foods are highly processed. The USDA offers very few healthy options. For instance, of the 44 meats offered by the USDA, only 6 are considered. Only 11% of the available fruits do not contain added sugars. Only 19% of grains are whole grains. Such unhealthy school lunches affect our children's behavior negatively, no less. According to schoollunch.org, the synthetic additives in junk food have been shown by numerous studies to trigger hyperactivity, attention deficits, as well as other behavioral problems in children who may already be sensitive. A research study conducted by Dr. Jim Stevenson and his colleagues at Southampton University found that artificial coloring resulted in hyperactivity for 3-year-olds and 8 and 9-year-olds in the general population. Food dyes have also been found to cause learning problems. Take a look at the ingredients of a cheese quesadilla you might make at home. Let's compare those to the ingredients of school lunch quesadillas. Many of those ingredients are unrecognizable, especially this one, which is the main ingredient in silly putty. Clearly, the current school lunch program is in grave need of reform. According to Andrew Martin's New York Times nutrition blog, the government is just recently beginning to enlist. In August of 2010, the Senate approved the much-needed, long-awaited Healthy, Hungry-Free Nutrition Act, which plans to make school food more nutritious and more available to kids in need. However, the bill has not yet passed, and it surprisingly has some political figures up in arms, including Sarah Palin, who adamantly opposes the act. Recently, Palin showed up to a Pennsylvania school with a batch of cookies to demonstrate her belief that parents should be the ones teaching kids healthy eating habits. This is a valid argument that many people hold. However, as it stands, school lunches undermine the healthy eating habits we teach our children at home. While Congress drags its feet on reform, we as parents, teachers, and members of the community have the power to demand change in our schools.
Let's change the way we eat, let's change the way we live, and let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we gotta do to survive.
Support programs like Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign at your next PTA meeting. Write letters to local politicians and school board members demanding reform of the meals served at your child's school. If possible, send your child to school with a bagged lunch in protest of the National School Lunch Program. We owe it to our children, the future generation of America, to ensure healthy lives today and tomorrow. Take the mystery out of mystery meat.
One of the greatest people alive, I feel. The lunch lady. Woke up in the morning, put on my new plastic glove, served some reheated Salisbury steak with a little slice of love. I got no clue what the chicken pot pie is made of. Just know everything's doing fine down here in Lunch Lady Land.